Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things to do and one of my favorite topics. It's my most popular topic, and I'm not going to say that topic because it's in the video title and you probably know what it is. And I don't want to get like my last video got taken down, so I'm going to try and have this one be fine by not saying a lot in the beginning. By the way, this is a free service. If you find it valuable, please feel free to donate via a super thanks or just join as a subscriber. Because I do use my own personal money to fund this channel and to give back to people. I think, where do I start? I think I'll start with like your partner. Your partner is probably the most important thing, the most important factor with you enjoying yourself. And I didn't really realize this until like I had enough partners, or that I had like a continued partner that became my boyfriend. So the best, am I allowed to say it? the best experience I've had has been with longer term partners, because they get to know my body, they get to know what I like, what doesn't work, what we need to be more careful with, where the pace that we need to go, all of that stuff. There's better communication. That's going to be your best experience. If you are hooking up with guys and you don't have a lot of experience, while it might be exciting, it may not be as pleasurable. So by the way, we're just going to be covering that kind of topic today if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Where are you at with your own experience? Like, are you just starting out? Are you trying to figure out how to make it an enjoyable experience? Are you at the end where you're like, oh yeah, like I can do all these things. I'm just curious, wherever you are, this video is for you. So I think like for me, it's been about 5.5 years where I've had to learn this. And I kept wondering, like, when's it going to be pleasurable? When am I really going to enjoy myself? When am I really going to get there? And if I could just go back in time and just be like, Ashley, you could get there really quickly. First, you just need a partner that is patient, is willing to listen to you and go at the speed that you're comfortable at. And then when you're ready, you can tell them to speed up or just kind of go off the leash. That's all you really need. That's basically it. Like, you just need a good partner, someone who's not going to jab you, someone who's going to like take it slow, and you can dictate the pace. I didn't really have techniques in place when I first started. Now I have like a technique and process to just make it great pretty quickly. So I'll share that technique with you, and we'll talk about some other things. So the partner piece, what you need is you just need to be able to communicate with your partner. They don't need to be your boyfriend, but you need to be like, hey, like I just need to set the pace to start so I feel comfortable. It's a pretty intense process, et cetera, et cetera. And being able to communicate with your body as well. Like, okay, so we're going to go in a little bit and just kind of hit just the beginning piece. Like, what I have is I usually have my legs up, spread out, and then my boyfriend will just kind of start to press up against the wall, and kind of I'll position him so he's in the right spot, but I'm too tight for him to enter. And so we're gonna start to get to it. I put lube all over his thing and over my area, and we'll just have him like bump up against the crevice, so to speak. Using all these code words is just really funny to me. So we're bumping up the crevice and we're trying to get the feeling going. And as things start to relax, I'll just tell him to move in a little bit. I'll be like, okay, you can push in a little bit, and I'll kind of push against his legs to stop him from moving any further. And typically I'll move in like those kind of increments, like 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. And I'll just kind of ask him to keep going at that position until I feel comfortable, and then I'll move on to the next. The big thing to feel comfortable is to breathe. Learning to breathe with your diaphragm can help you relax your pelvic floor. And also, like, it's kind of like a farting position, so you kind of want to like fart a little bit, or kind of feel like you're doing a fart so that you can relax your lower pelvic floor. I do suggest, if you've never done it before, to like practice with a toy and to enjoy yourself doing that. You can also play with both sides. You don't need to just play with one. I play with both and I find it to be very pleasurable. I definitely used like toys for a bit, but I didn't use it for super long because it's not the real thing. I just needed to get a feel for what felt good and what didn't feel good, and if I could bring myself to orgasm and all of that. Now I don't use a toy on myself, mostly because I like to have my partner stretch me. That's more exciting. There's more grip, and I'm not like overly like done with my like. It's more exciting because it's like he only enters, right? And you feel that. So like, I don't know how you feel about your philosophy to this, but I noticed that some people, they just want to go bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it's like, how can you be satisfied? That doesn't sound satisfying if your partner can't go bigger and bigger and bigger. Wouldn't it be great if you were so tight that he was just really big? So big. So, you know, it's that kind of thing, right? So communicating with your partner, having the right partner, their size really doesn't matter too much so long as they're around average or above average or below average is fine. You don't want like little poker prod things. And if you're a trans woman, those guys are going to be really intimidated and won't even date you. So typically the guys that I tend to match with have like average to above average endowments. And my boyfriend right now, he's above average endowed. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous sight to behold. So yeah, like, and you don't want to be too big. Like I've had things that are like really, really big and it's just like a pole. It doesn't feel any good. So don't think bigger is better. That's not really always the case. And so, yeah, so like there's that. And then I went through the process of the positioning. The other thing is with douching. Try not to douche too much. It can mess with your biome. I haven't experienced too much of a problem with that, but just theoretically from a health-wise perspective, you don't want to do that too much. Sometimes I'll be on spurts where we're having sex every day for quite some time, so I'll have to do that, but I really try not to do too much douching. So reading what's coming out of you as you are cleansing through the douche will help you get a read of how many times you need to douche. If you're having you douche something really full and then you stop having stuff come out, you're probably good. Like there might be risk, but you're probably good. Then wait about 30 minutes till you actually engage. Tell your partner like, hey, can we just like wait for 30 minutes because I just need to absorb the water. That's a big one. Like something I didn't realize is like, you can't just douche and then immediately go to sex. If you do that, then you could have water kind of spilling out and you might feel uncomfortable because you'll feel like something has to come out. And you don't want to feel like you're going to poop. Like that's not a pleasurable thing. So you got to kind of let the water absorb so you're kind of clear down there. Lots and lots of lube. I think everyone says that, but lots and lots of lube. And if you start to feel this sensation of like, imagine you have dry hands rubbing together. It's like doesn't hurt, but you can feel them like just kind of rubbing together. That's a feeling to look for down there when you're receiving. If you start to get that feeling, just be like, hey, we just got to add some more lube, because I used to ignore that feeling or think, oh, it's just a feeling. Maybe this is just a part of the process. But if you let that feeling continue, it's going to start to hurt and you're not really going to enjoy it. And so it could start to be painful, especially if your session lasts a while. So that's something to think about, to be aware of. Like, are you starting to feel any dryness? Put that lube all over that thing. Get that schlong covered. And yeah, put it all the way at the end. I think that's a good thing. What else to cover? I prefer unprotected, but that's because I also have a boyfriend. You can't do that if you don't have a boyfriend. I would never recommend unprotected sex if it's not with a long-term partner. To get to unprotected sex, you should both get tests, be in the clear. Like there's a 3-week window where there's risk if someone has had unprotected sex. So just get all the testing in place if you want to cross that bridge. It feels amazing, it feels great, but it's not worth, a little bit of pleasure in the short term is not worth the rest of your life regretting that decision. So just like, you're probably going to need to use a condom unless you're in an established relationship. If you need to use a condom, put lube underneath on the shaft, and then put the condom on top, and then put lube on top of it. He'll love it. It'll feel so much better. What else? I don't think I can show these on camera because this last video got flagged, but I have different douches. I would say the most simple douche is the best douche. The more complicated ones that I own, I don't use. The $50 ones I don't use. Also, like, use slippery stuff. You can find it on Amazon. Slippery stuff is much better than like any specialized anal lube. I have a specialized anal lube, and it's like a silicone lube. And the problem with that is the silicone lube just kind of stays in your body, and so you eventually feel like you need to kind of poop, and it comes out and it's all goopy and gross. You don't want that. The slippery stuff is great for vaginal and all of that, and your body absorbs it, so you don't have any goop anywhere. And of course, make sure it's glycerin free and paraben free. Like, you don't want that because those things can cause like colon cancer and stuff like that. So you also have to be aware of these things, right? Slippery stuff is the stuff. I am so glad I found it. I can't believe I found it late in my career. I think it'll make your life so much better. So totally go for that. What else? Yeah, I mean, like, if he wants to start with fingering or eating you out, that's great. I don't think every guy does that. They just kind of push it right in. So you just want to make sure you kind of pace them. And I think there's like positions, I guess I could talk about. I think my favorite position is probably sideways, like laying on my side with him behind me, so that I can turn around and kiss him and my leg is up and I can like masturbate while he's doing it. Like, that's probably one of my favorite. However, when he's really going for it, like, one of my favorite positions is on my back, just with my legs spread over his shoulders. You may want to do some yoga and like start to do a lot of leg stretches for your hamstrings, because you're going to be in this position a lot, you know, and I don't mean my arms, you know, your legs. So I know you're like, oh, like, do I have to stretch? Yeah, stretching will make things so much better for you, and you'll look hot doing it, and it'll feel great doing it. So think about that for sure. And then I think like doggy style is really hot, but you have to really kind of work into that because it can get pretty deep. When you hit like what may feel like a wall, it's good to kind of brush up against that wall and maybe just hold his thing there so that you can kind of adjust to it and kind of start to feel okay. And then from there, you can inch in a little bit more and more and more. As you progress through, just like, if you come in like I've recommended, which is slow, inch by inch, until you can say, okay, you can start to move a little faster. Okay, great, you can start to move a little faster. Then you'll be fine. As long as your nervous system has not been traumatized or like you've seized up in any way, you're good. But I would say, like, how many levels are there? There's like the first phase, which is like the inch by inch by inch, and telling him when he can go in a little bit more. And then the next phase is like slow. Slow, baby, slow. Just, yeah, that's a good pace. That's what I'll say. And then, okay, you can go a little faster is what I'll say. So there's like inch by inch, slow, a little faster, and then like, okay, go for it. And then he'll typically just go for a good pace. And then there's like another pace, which kind of comes after that, which just like rough, like I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you kind of stuff. And that's my favorite when you get there, but you have to wait a bit. That takes 5, 8, 10 minutes to get there. And then you can be like, okay, just like as you're having it happen, you can just be like, all right, fuck the shit out of me. Like, fuck me, you know, like all of that, cry, like do all the porn star stuff, like be a fucking porn star, have your fill, be all delicious, enjoy it, and you should have a really great time. If you follow these instructions, you're gonna have a great time, and you're gonna have so much great anal sex right off the bat. People are gonna be like, are you pro? Have you done this before? You know, that kind of stuff. So I hope y'all enjoy yourselves out there. Please consider dropping me a super thanks and joining to just sponsor me, give me some money to support the channel and support the people and the services that I pay for this channel. And yeah, like and share. I do this for free. It's an unmonetizable video because of the topic, as you know. Have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.